Hi guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to discuss about vectors. So when you say guys vectors, this is just the opposite of scalar. So vector is a representation of a physical quantity. So masasabi natin guys na vector siya if it has magnitude and direction. So in contrast sa scalar, which has magnitude only. So yung scalar guys, for example, scalar natin is speed. Pag ginawa natin siyang vector, that is velocity. So, yung speed guys is just a distance per time, but yung ating velocity, distance per time din, but you have direction. So, the simplest example of vector is your displacement. For example, here may displacement tayo. So, as we can see here guys, meron siyang direction. So, yung arrow niya, doon papunta yung path of our vector. For example here, vector A. Kung pag vector guys, meron siyang arrow sa taas. So this is, meaning nito, vector A. Pag A lang, meaning that is only the magnitude of this vector. So this vector, as you can see, very simple example, yung tail niya, that is your initial or starting point. Then, yung tip ng arrow, yun yung end point niya. Which is, ito yung vector natin. So yung vector natin guys can be represented as components. So basically, yung vector natin, meron siyang dalawang component vectors that are directed in the y and x axis. For example here, vector A can be represented, meron siyang, you have here a sub x, then you have here a sub y. So yun yung dalawang components ng ating vector A. So ganyan guys yung pag-drawing from tip of the resultant vector. Yung A natin is the resultant vector, and then yung component natin, yung na-occupy niyang space in x and y axis are called the components. So ang pag-drawing natin is from the tip of the vector and away, going away to each other, as long as yung resultant vector natin is nasa gitna ng component vectors. So what if kung nandito siya sa second quadrant? So kung nasa second quadrant guys, for example here, this is vector A, so directed upward. So we have this vector, let's say vector A, ang direction niya is to the second quadrant. And what if kung nasa third quadrant siya? So here, this is our vector. So this is vector A, this is A sub Y, A sub X, A sub X, and A sub Y. So, yung A sub X natin guys, meron siyang direction since vector nga siya. So, if you are going upward, that is positive, downward, negative. That is our assumption for direction. Kung to the right, sa x-axis, positive. Kung to the left, that is negative. So, what if naman kung nasa fourth quadrant? Kung fourth quadrant siya, we have this vector. So, this is vector A. We can see here, we have these components, AX and AY. So, yung pag-solve guys ng vector is just using trigonometry. So, yung vector natin guys, yung nauna nating mention is just your vector in a 2-dimensional space. So, what if guys kung 3-dimensional space siya? So, meron na siyang z-axis. So, here we have your y-axis. This is your x. This is your z-axis. So, kung lalabas siya dun guys, sa space natin here, that's the time na meron siyang z component. So, by convenience guys, ang xyz natin is ginagamitan natin siya ng unit vector. Ano yung unit vector? So, unit vector is just a representation kung saang axis siya. For example, vector A. Vector A is represented by, we have here A, x, that is I hat for x, plus, we have here ay, that is j for y, and we have a sub z, then k hat, that is for z. Ibig sabihin nito guys, ang resultant vector A natin, for example, nandito siya. Here. So, may na-occupy siyang space sa z-axis, meron sa x, and meron din siya sa y. So, 3-dimensional. So, ibig sabihin nito guys, the space that has been occupied by vector A in x-axis, here, nasa negative siya. And yung y natin, yung upward, then yung z natin is yung outside of this whiteboard. So, yung resultant vector natin, yung magnitude niya is just using trigonometry. So, basically guys, yung vector A, yung magnitude niya, so walang arrow, that is magnitude, is just the square root of, so triangle natin. So, A sub x squared plus A sub y squared plus A sub z squared. So, kung two-dimensional, wala siyang z-axis. So, this is just Pythagorean theorem. So, let's try guys solving sample problem. So, what is the resultant of the following vectors? So, for the sake guys of review, break down ko na lang or sinamarize ko yung topic natin para mas madali siyang maintindihan. So, here, ang first problem natin is all-in-one to guys. All of the things that you should understand about vectors is discussed in this problem. So, yung method natin guys is dalawa. Pwedeng graphical, drawing ka, drawn to scale, gamit kang ruler and protractor. Then, yung second step is by manual or numerical computation. What is the resultant vector of the following vectors? So, vector A is equal to 72.4 meters, 32 degrees east of north. Vector B is 57.3 meters, 36 degrees south of west. Vector C is equal to 17.8 meters due south. Ito guys, very important when it comes to vector that we know directions. So, for example, vector A, ang hinahanap natin guys is the resultant vector. So, ang resultant vector guys, for example here, meron tayong vector A. So, from this starting position, we have here vector B. So, our resultant vector is the displacement from starting to ending. So, ito yung resultant natin. So, this is our resultant. So, basically, the resultant is just parang shortcut siya nung path natin. It's a simplified path wherein it started from your starting position, of course, to the end of your direction. So, kung ganito yung vector natin, vector A, meron tayong vector B, meron tayong vector C. So, this is the displacement. So, that is the resultant vector. Yung hinahanap natin dito sa problem na to guys. So, ang first step in solving vectors is to illustrate the figure. So, dapat meron tayong axis guys. So, gawa tayo ng axis. For example, here, this is positive x and positive y. Upward positive, to the right positive. So, vector A is 72.4 meters, 32 degrees east of north. So, pag sinabi natin guys, east of north, ang reference point natin here is north. So, ito guys, vector A is north of east. So, from north tayo, papuntang east. So, ganito yung direction natin. That is clockwise direction. So, here, this is 32 degrees. So, yung vector B natin guys is measured from the west. Since this is south of west. So, from west tayo here. So, this is a straight line here. West. Then, ang angle natin is 36 degrees. So, this is vector B. So, this angle is 36 degrees. So, vector B. So, ang magnitude ng vector B is 57.3 meters. So, i-recall natin guys, ang vector A is 72.4 meters, magnitude, direction. So, vector east of north. So, kung east of north ang basis natin. So, from north here, that is east of north. Ang east ng north natin is papuntang clockwise. So, this is 32. So, for vector B, south of west. So, from west, punta tayo ng south. So, that is downward. So, this is 36 degrees. Then, yung vector C natin is due south, meaning this is downward from the y-axis. So, parallel to guys. So, this is vector C. Vector C is 17.8 meters. Magnitude, direction niya is due south. So, downward. So, this is 17.8 meters. So, ang hinahanap natin dito guys is the resultant. So, that is from initial to your end position. So, this is what we are going to find here. So, this resultant vector R. So, yung shortcut position natin is from origin to the ending of our vectors. So ito guys, as you can see, lahat lang naman to is can be solved using trigonometry. Ito guys, kunin natin lahat ng x component. So i-add natin lahat ng x component. So let's say Rx is just equal to a sub x plus b sub x plus c sub x. Yung Ry natin is a sub y plus b sub y plus c sub y. So kunin natin guys lahat ng component, then i-add natin yon. So meaning ang magnitude ng resultant vector natin is just the square root of Rx squared plus Ry squared. And we need to find those Rx and Ry. So ang pinakamadaling solution dito guys is of course graphical. So hindi ka na mag-solve, you just draw yung mga arrows natin. So i-scale na lang natin yung mga data. So start natin guys, a sub x. Kunin natin yung x component ng vector A. So ang vector A natin guys, so i-redraw natin siya separately. So we have this 72.4 meters. So this is 32 degrees. So we need to find this x component. So a sub x. So by trigonometry, so pwede natin gamitin. So ito, let's say this is 90 minus 32. So this is a right angle. So this is 58 degrees. So basically guys, a sub x is 72.4 cosine 58 degrees. So you just use your trigonometry here. So a sub x, so this is meters. So this is 38.37. So kunin natin yung a sub y. So a sub y is just equal to, you have your 72.4 meters, so that is opposite. So sine 58 degrees. So para ma-familiarize nyo guys yung ating trigonometry here, you just need to go back to our previous discussions. So this is 61.40 meters. Then punta tayo guys sa vector B. So i-redraw natin yung vector B. So pupunta siya sa second quadrant. So this is the components. So this is 57.3 meters. So this is for vector A. This is for vector B. So ang angle natin guys, this is 36 degrees. So meaning, if this is your triangle here, that is a right triangle. So this component is b sub x and this is b sub y. So by observation guys, we can say here, dapat ang b sub x natin is negative since directed siya to the left. And b sub y is downward, therefore it should be negative. So paano mag-negative yung sign natin when using trigonometry? So yung reference point natin guys is of course dito palagi sa positive x-axis. So here, so this is 180 degrees. So pag gumamit tayo ng trigonometry, i-add natin yung 180 kasi ito yung reference point natin. So here, gamitan natin ng trigonometry. So b sub x is just equal to, you have here, so this is cosine. So 57.3, that is your hypotenuse, meters. So this is cosine 180 plus 36. So b sub x equals, so that is negative 46.36 meters. So gamitin natin guys yung real angle. So that is measured from the positive x-axis. So b sub y, so that is 57.3 meters times, you have here sine 180 degrees plus 36. So expected guys, dapat negative parehas. So b sub y is negative 33.68 degrees. 0.68 meters. So let's go to c sub x. So yung c natin guys here is just, so by observation, c is just directed downward. So wala siyang x component. So meron lang siyang c sub y. So c sub y is just equal to 17.8. So downward lang siya. So c sub y is downward, so negative. We have here 17.8. So wala siyang x component. So i-add natin lahat ng x component, ng y component, then kunin natin yung resultant vector. So r sub x is just equal to, so a sub x, that is 38.37 meters. So pwede ka guys mag-tabulate para mas madali. So here, i-shortcut na natin siya. So b sub x is negative 46.36 meters. So r sub x equals negative 7.99 meters. So meaning guys, papunta siya sa left. So r sub y is, we have here a sub y, that is 61.40 meters, plus b sub y, that is negative 33.68 meters, plus c sub y, that is negative 17.8 meters. So r sub y is equal to 9.92 meters. Meaning guys, yung r sub y natin is upward. So i-drawing natin guys. So this is 9.92 meters. So we have this negative 7.99. So i-scale natin guys. So mas maikli dapat ito. Then of course, this is our resultant vector here. So ano yung magnitude ng resultant vector r? So using trigonometry, that is a right triangle. So r is just equal to your square root of r sub x, that is negative 7.99 squared plus 9.92 squared. So r natin is, so that is 12.70, say 4 meters. So this is our magnitude of the resultant. So scalar pa lang yan guys. So what is the direction niya? So ang direction niya guys, nakabase sa angle. So kunin natin yung angle niya. So it can be either this or this. So pag angle guys, i-denote natin kung saan natin siya kinuha. So here, let's say ito yung angle natin. This is our angle here, theta. So theta is, so from tangent, so arctan 9.92 over adjacent, so 7.99. So theta is, so wag natin guys ilagay kung negative or positive, basta ilagay natin kung saan natin siya mineasure. So arctan 9.92 over 7.99, that is 51 degrees. So meaning 51.1 degrees from your negative x axis. So yun measure natin. So pwedeng maraming angle guys. You can measure your angle from this positive x axis or anywhere as long as you denote kung saan mo siya mineasure. So that's the process on solving the resultant vector. So itong next na introduce ko sa inyo guys is what you call the unit vector. So yun yung unit vector guys. Yung unit vector is just a representation of your components. For example here, so given two vectors 6i plus 3j minus k meters and b is 4i minus 5j plus 8k meters. Find the magnitude and direction of two vector a minus vector b. So vector a is, we have here 6i I hat plus 3j minus 1k. So ijk guys is just a representation, meaning kung I, this is your x component, kung j, this is your y component, kung k, this is your z component. So 3-dimensional to guys. So these are your unit vector. So meaning it represent the number kung saan siya naka-measure, kung x ba or y or z. Yung vector b natin guys is 4i minus 5j plus 8k. Hinahanap natin guys here is the displacement of 2 times vector a minus vector b. So ano yung resultant vector natin? So i-represent natin siya guys as our vector. So 2 times, so vector a is 6i plus 3j minus k. So, huwag natin ilagay yung 1 na coefficient. So, minus vector b. So, 4i minus, so lagyan natin ng parenthesis, 5j plus 8k. So, yung process natin guys is just the same as algebra. So, here, this is 12i plus 6j minus 2k. We have here negative 4i. So, negative, negative, positive. So, plus 5j. So, negative times positive. This is minus 8k. And combine like terms. So, 12i. Here is I. So, this is... So, 12 minus 4i. This is 8i. So, positive. Then, you have plus. So, j. 6 plus 5. So, that is 11j. Then, you have here, so minus, so k is negative 2k here, minus 8k, so that is minus 10k. So this is our vector r. So this is 2 times vector a minus vector b. So kunin natin guys yung resultant niya. So this is your x component, y component, and z component. So using trigonometry. So, just like in algebra, you cannot combine like terms here. So, this is yung component ng vector r, so scalar. Huwag natin ilagay yung arrow kasi yung hinahanap natin here, kasi ang kinuha muna natin is yung magnitude niya. So, this is 8 squared plus 11 squared plus, you have here negative 10 squared. So, this is 16.9. So, unit na guys is meters. So, ito guys yung magnitude ng vector natin. So, yung pag-solve natin guys ng vectors is just using your trigonometry. So, you need to familiarize yung mga basic concept natin kasi nagagamit siya. First of all, physics. Gamit na gamit siya in statics, dynamics, and almost all engineering sciences. So, you need to familiarize yung mga fundamental concepts like this kasi lumalabas to guys in your board examination. So, that's it guys. See you in my next video. So, ang next video natin guys is concerning again in vectors. We will solve more problems about vectors. See you guys and stay safe. Continue to like, share, and subscribe videos in our YouTube channel.